Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Dr. Psych Mom Show. Today we have a special treat. This happens rarely, and you can always do it. Somebody wrote, or rather said, their question audibly. They stated their question in a voice message, so we have that, and I am going to play that for you, and then I will tell you what I think.
Hi, Dr. Psych Mom. I was just wondering if you had any content concerning men who are insecure about their partner's use of sex toys. The other night, I got into a big fight with my partner because he found a dildo that we had purchased together on my side of the bed, and he took it as me saying that I'm not attracted to him, that he's not doing a good enough job. He said that any real man would be offended by this, that it's the equivalent of me cheating with a human man, and yeah, I tried to explain to him that I use it to get warmed up sometimes, especially if he's coming to bed later than me and we have limited time. But the conversation was, it was too late. It didn't turn into an open discussion about sex. It turned into just a defensive mess. And mind you, our sex life is great. We have sex daily. I meant what I said when I just, occasionally use it to get warmed up. I have no complaints about our sex life. I'm very attracted to him, and I kind of thought he knew this. But yeah, I would love any input you might have or any content that might be able to assist me with addressing this problem.
Okay, so here's what I think. Okay, there's so much here. You're having sex every day. He's your boyfriend. You are so obviously trying to please him that you are literally overfunctioning to do your own foreplay so that he can, I would imagine, be on video games. Maybe I'm wrong. Either way, he's coming to bed late. He's coming back to bed later than you, and you are literally overfunctioning to the point that you are expediting the need for foreplay by doing it to yourself. I think that's kind of all that we need to know about this, but I mean, I can go on. You definitively sound like you struggle with men not taking care of you and taking that role in the relationship, dealing with difficult men. I had another listener question. It's like the same, thing. It was literally go into the Spotify search bar and do listener question. It was another boyfriend thing where the boyfriend was not acting right and the woman was over functioning. So it's like the same kind of women. I feel like the people pleasing women, they feel bad for me that nobody does these voicemails. So they do it. It's very nice, but it's the same sort of person that's going to get themselves ready to literally have sex with a guy to save him the trouble of the foreplay, which probably he's not awesome at if you're doing it yourself instead of him doing it. Now, sure, it's hot and exciting and sexy to play around with sex toys and to get yourself ready and this and that. But I don't know, it doesn't really sound like that to me. First of all, the dude sounds super young, super insecure, and he is probably correctly picking up on that you're not enjoying sex that much, but instead of maybe coming to bed earlier and trying to learn how to please you, he's just getting mad. He's mad at the dildo. He's mad at the dildo, thinks you're cheating with the dildo. You're not, so dildo's not a person. The person's acted like a bit of a dildo, but the dildo's not a person, so you can't be cheating with a sex toy. You're also super obvious about it, and also you're only doing it to make your sex life better. Why are you having sex every day? Women don't want to have sex every day. Yes, if you're very young, okay, you don't sound super young. I mean, 20s, maybe early 30s. Every day does not sound awesome to me in this situation. It seems like something that we're doing because that's kind of how we keep him chillaxed and as chillaxed as he gets, and that you kind of, this is what's expected. This is the baseline. I just had a post on how women who have sex every single day when they're young, because that's how we keep the guy happy, end up more often resenting it and being bitter and thinking, you know what? A lot of those days I didn't want to have sex. Some of those days I was getting my period or I was on my period or, you know what? I'm a human being. So sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I don't want to, And also, if you have to get yourself ready, maybe you're having too much sex, right? I mean, maybe you are wanting to do it every day to make sure that he's happy, but it's something where you're having to really try to get yourself in the mood by using a dildo while he's still doing something else. That would be a night, from my perspective, where you wouldn't have sex. Like, he's not in bed with you. He's not engaging in foreplay. It's not like you are like so horny that you're saying, oh, I can't wait, because if you were, I guess you would tell him to come upstairs. It's more like, all right, it's time for our thing now. This is the thing that we do, and I'm going to try to, get into it. Which is great if you weren't doing it every single day and if he wasn't being a jackass about it. So, of course, I didn't hear his side of the story, and nobody knows better than a couples counselor that there's two sides to a story. However, I got a lot of experience with this dynamic, 15 years worth. This is a lot of the people that come into couples counseling. Is a woman that's over-functioning when the man is under-functioning. And in the relational sphere, it sounds like he's under-functioning. He had a wonderful opportunity, and I bet he has very limited experience. He's always been difficult. He's kind of an anxious guy. Women have been walking on eggshells around him for a long time, I'm sure. So it's not like he gets a lot of feedback. But then again, the feedback that he gets, I'm willing to go, doesn't go well, willing to bet, because, when you're a man who's so defensive and sensitive that you think that somebody's cheating with an inanimate object, then it is generally difficult for a woman or anybody to give you feedback. So the point being is he doesn't really know how to please you. He had a wonderful opportunity to figure it out. You say he's very attractive. Good. You're young. You're attracted to him. That's great. How attractive is he going to be if this does not get worked out in terms of his personality? It's kind of like his personality could be bringing down the general attractiveness. So the defensiveness and the accusations and feeling, the inferiority complex is coming out in that he's being very, very defensive, and he's accusing you of something so that he doesn't have to think, why is my girlfriend using this sex toy to get ready for me? Like that should be kind of what he's saying, but that doesn't seem to be there. So let's say, though, because we want to generalize this for other people, what if you just used the sex toy when he was on vacation? Live and be well. Man, you're having sex with him every day. WTF. What does he have any problem with? I say all the time, masturbation is not good for the sex life if it's not a good sex life. But literally, if it's a good sex life, then sure, add in whatever you'd like to do. In the case where you're having sex with him every day, if he were to go out of town and it's like for sure you're definitely having sex with him when he comes back, why wouldn't you, if you're in the mood, then masturbate when he's away? And he could too. Sure, I don't think porn is a great thing, as I've talked about over and over, and I would be curious, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, does he use porn to masturbate? Like, what does he think? How does he think a woman's body works? Is there enough foreplay in this relationship? This whole using the thing while he's downstairs, it just rubs me wrong, no pun intended, and I do not think that it needs to be like that. I think that you need to it's a really good question. And if other people are like, oh, you're, like jumping to conclusions from like what she says, after you're working at any job for a long time, there's like a lot of algorithms and a lot of intuition. And, this is a reader question. So maybe I'm completely wrong. Something tells me I'm not. But if I am, and she writes back, she says, you are completely wrong, I will definitely add it to the end of this episode. But not yet, because it's not going to be coming out for a while. But then again, when you hear this, it will have come out. So maybe you will, within the week, hear back or whatever, that I was totally wrong. But for any other woman in this situation, I have never heard of this meaning that the guy is taking good care of you, not in bed and not out of bed. This sounds to me classic overfunctioning, classic men never take care of me. And why? I taught you guys why. Because you grew up seeing a parent not take care of another parent, or a caregiver being selfish, or you're a parentified child where you're always trying to like do everything so the other person doesn't get upset. Overfunction so the other person doesn't get upset. Keep the person calm. Keep the person calm by having sex with them every single day. That is a lot. And we know that you don't want it every single day because you're needing to get yourself in the mood when he's not even there. Why isn't he there? You're trying to say, okay, we need to have our nightly sex. It's getting late. I wouldn't really want to, but I have to. And I'm not saying it's coercive, not even slightly. You've certainly made that clear, but I'm saying to you to interrogate and explore with your own therapist on a deeper level, why would I sit there trying to get myself in the mood when he can't be bothered to come in and get me in the mood? Why don't I just go to sleep, man? I could use some more sleep. Everybody can. How would that go? Right? And if this is a person that goes into a tantrum about you cheating with a dildo, then what else is he going into a tantrum about? I mean, and I'm not saying that, he's a terrible person at all. He has his own problems. He probably has deep, deep insecurity. This is the personality type that goes along with being a late bloomer, goes along with being retroactive jealousy, goes along with a lot of insecurity, being, raised to think that you're never really good enough and that you're always in competition with everybody and you never win. So that's the sort of person that he may well be. And it would be excellent for you to think about this with your own individual therapist, what kind of person he is, what kind of person you are. Are there other signs that he's difficult? Are there other signs that you overfunction? Now, just to reiterate, sex toys are fine when you use them together. They're fine when you use them apart. Where they're not fine, and I say this a lot, is when women get addicted to the vibrator so that they could never get off except with the vibrator. Then that, of course, you wouldn't like if your male partner could only get off with like a pocket pussy, would you? Nobody would really like that. So it's the same thing. And also when you are using it instead of sex. So if once every night you use the vibrator, but your husband wants to have sex every night, but you'll only have sex with him once every other week or so, and you just rather, go to sleep with the vibrator so that you can relax. Well, yeah, but that is sexual energy too, and then you are using it in the wrong place, in a place where it's not really helping the marriage because the sex life isn't good. Now, in this case, they are having sex. I'm willing to bet. I don't know how great the sex is. I know what you like to think, but, I don't know. You said he's very attractive. I forget if you said you're very satisfied, I think. But either way, then why? Why isn't he up there? Why isn't he up there? What is he doing while you are having foreplay with a dildo that he's jealous of? What is he doing? It begs the question. Is he doing his own thing? And is this a way that you expedite the sex life as basically daily antidepressant for him so that he's kind of less difficult to deal with while you just kind of carry the emotional engine of the relationship, keeping everything calm, over functioning, trying to make sure that he doesn't yell or get offended or get insecure. And when else did you do this in your life? Try to walk on eggshells to make sure that somebody wasn't difficult. All right, thank you so much. I hope that I left you with stuff to think about. I can't imagine I didn't. I feel for you. So many young women and young men are in a situation of feeling like they have to walk on eggshells around a partner and being faced with anxious jealousy. It's not a good deal. It's not a good situation. But anyway, I hope this was interesting. I hope that other people got some food for thought from listening. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Have a great day. And thank you, listener, for giving me a question. And if anybody else likes to, right on Spotify, you can record a voice message. Bye-bye, guys. So we have a great response. This listener is awesome and responded immediately upon the first day of hearing this podcast episode. So thank you very much, listener. And I will let you hear what she said, but I just want to tell you, listener, I know you had another question, and if that one blew you away, then wait till you hear how I link up your two questions, which I'm going to bet anything you don't think were related, although maybe now you do. And that one's going to be coming out in a couple weeks, I believe. All right, and here she is with her response to this episode.
Hi, Dr. Psych Mom. This is the person that had asked the question you recently answered, and I'm just, blown away, but not because I knew you would hit the nail on the head. And to everyone listening, yes, she's absolutely correct. This is a classic case of a rigid, anxious person and I guess, overfunctioning individual who's mostly a severe people pleaser. I did witness a parent catering to the other. My mom was severely depressed, also alcoholic, and my dad sort of catered to her needs. So I guess it's imago theory at play. A lot of food for thought there. I will definitely be sharing this with my therapist, and hopefully be doing some work on myself so that I don't keep having to walk on eggshells because it's very tiring. But thank you so much for validating my experience. And I'm just, wow, you really hit the nail on the head. So thank you.